Hey everybody, I told you I'd be back later and I'm back. It's Saturday night, it's the 17th. Yes, it's still the 17th of May. I hope you had a good day. I just got something really nice in the mail from Lisa Rex's dad. She promised to send me these. Thank you, Lisa. They're rosary beads that were blessed by Pope John Paul II in 1995 when she studied in Rome, and she gave me some little medals of St. Joseph. So thank you. I mean St. Anthony. I get those two mixed up. So thank you. Much appreciate. And I felt the energy from them as soon as I opened the envelope. I was like, whoa, that's pretty strong. So expect some good stuff tonight. I'm kind of getting a sense that it's kind of like 50% good stuff and 50% bad stuff. So let's ask the pendulum where we are with stuff. With stuff. In the United States of America, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being excellent, where is our country? Where's our democracy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm asking, where is our democracy? Is it good? 10 is very good. I think what I'm picking up on is people being awakened. And democracy is government by the people. So I think, is that what we're measuring here? Is that accurate? Okay, I think that there may have never been a time in your life or my life when people were so engaged in either planning to be activists or are being activists. I think that so many people are having abject hatred of the orange buffoon, that's what I'm picking up on there, because that's kind of a high number. I was kind of surprised in a good way. All right, I try not to make these videos too long so that people will watch them, because, you know, short attention spans. Gotta love technology. It's making us think too fast. Long attention spans are really useful things, just so you know. I know we all know that, but I think it's easy to forget. I have somebody who's talking about getting me on TikTok, and I never actually wanted to do TikTok because it was just such short clips. But then, you know, this is kind of the opposite thing. Then I recently heard that TikTok is now allowing like longer videos, so that's a good sign. I may do it. All right, we're gonna look at. Well, I'm thinking I want to look at Donald Trump, and that will be the nefarious cards, right? Because I have cards that aren't nefarious, but let's just use. I crack myself up. We use, because I have them, but I don't know where I put them. Let's just use these. These are new. They were cheap. Somebody was got a bunch of tarot decks for a great deal, and I bought a couple decks from her for $5. So let's see what we have here. Hang on, I think I found them. Now, when they hide, the guides don't want me to use them. Okay, so because they're too dark. 3 cards about Donald. I found them. We'll look at them afterwards. 3 cards about the Donald. The truth is really in our faces about him. This is the Sword of Truth. This is a Queen of Pentacles. What we can have versus what we have right now. The 5 of Wands. He's massively challenged at the moment. Be glad that you're not him. Because it's really, really, the pressure's on. I feel like, you know the old Batman series? I mean, if you guys remember Batman when you were a kid, Batman and Robin would be like trying to escape danger, and they somehow they'd end up in this room, and the walls were moving in. I think I've used this example before to illustrate a point. The walls are closing in, and you know when you're a kid, you're like, "Get out of there, Batman and Robin! Get out!" Like that. That sticks in my mind really clearly for some reason. That's what Donald Trump is going through right now, and I feel like I actually am picking up pressure from Putin and Saudi Arabia, so I'm not really sure what that's about. And people know. And I want to just give you a thought that I keep having. I love these cards. They're called the Stained Glass Tarot. Yeah. Strong female energy keeps coming up in the readings, and this is the Sword of Truth. Let me tell you something that I keep thinking about. There are members of our military that were part of the first Dumpy 1 phase, and Joe Biden is his administration, and they got kicked out when Dumpy returned illegitimately. And I'm talking about people like General Mark Milley and General John Kelly, for example. I'm going to ask you something, because I think this will be reassuring. If you were a career general, and I mean General Milley, for example, if you read up on him, you will not believe how accomplished he is. The man was born with a chart for defending, for being in the military pretty high up. I don't think that if you are of that ilk, and that's like your calling, that you would just step aside and not pay any attention anymore in any way, manner, or form whatsoever to what's happening to the United States of America. And I'm going to kind of just leave that there to explore at a later date. But I think the reason that I don't get flipped out, I get angry, yes, but I don't get flipped out into fear, is because I feel that we are being protected. And I want everybody to take a deep breath in and hold it in a longer breath out, and understand that throughout all of human civilization, people have suffered prior to a huge shift happening and during that huge shift. And that is just the way it is. Unfortunately, planet Earth isn't an easy planet to be on. But anyway, I'm going to leave that there for the time being. I just can't imagine somebody or somebody's whose calling is to defend a nation would just leave and just be able to live with themselves, not being involved at all in any way, manner, shape, or form, and continuing to protect the nation. We don't have to know how. There's a lot that we don't know about how the military works. So, speaking of that, I am gonna pull these cards. and see how Dumpy's plans for his military parade are going. Probably make this video about 20 minutes because I want to go over a few things. But while I'm shuffling and choosing cards, oh, you guys, you saw this. I showed you this morning. A heart formed from the candle wax in this room. Nice. I'm going to pull 3 cards about this military parade that he's thinking about. And it's funny because the guides just said to me, there's a little bit of appeasing him going on so that he doesn't go off the rails. That's interesting. We keep getting that it's not going to happen. I just want you to know, and I've said this many times, when I check the pendulum about whether something's going to happen, if it's like something with really negative energy, sometimes it will give me a no. So I'm going to pull 3 cards about this so-called military parade and our military. He wants to do it because Putin wants him to do it. And plus he wants to be like Putin. Vlad Dracula, 3 of Swords. I've been getting the 3 of Swords for Dumpy consistently, and the Lover card, of course. Putin told him to do it. Putin told him to have a military parade. That'll show him. That'll show those damn Americans who's in charge. He wants to be exactly like Putin. Okay? Now let's use these cards. I'm just having fun switching cards tonight. Let's use these cards to find out how that's gonna go for Dumpy. Continuing to listen to Putin. I feel like the walls are closing in on Trump. And it's not necessarily from the U.S., it's more from Putin and Saudi Arabia. I said it before, I'm just saying it again. Please join us tomorrow for church. 1 p.m. Eastern. The Star, the Queen of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. This is indicating to me, I have to hide the nakedness. Okay, the Star is the United States, the King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. I think Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are still communicating with one another about what's happening in America. They're still talking about what's happening. So, the question is about what happens to Dumpy next, and I feel him being pushed aside. I don't want to hear anybody talking about JD being president. We're going to start to hear a lot more messaging from Democrats. The more people like you and I rise up and activate and call our representatives and not put up with this crap and let our stuff about saving democracy go viral, all that, the more we do that, we're starting to see a shift. And I know at the same time that we see the shift, like I was saying 50-50 earlier, I was feeling like, even though the pendulum was saying that it's an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong our democracy is, we're seeing we're seeing some really bad stuff. Half really bad stuff, half pretty good stuff. And it's the people that will push the good stuff to the tipping point. Okay, so since I was mentioning the generals that have been career generals that aren't in their positions anymore, the guides are saying they have their eyes on Hegseth. But we haven't really seen in the news much. Seems like we would, because he's got, you know, that new makeup room at the Pentagon. I'm seeing the the retired generals from the past, I'm seeing them really just thinking that is so pathetic. Hegseth in his makeup room. Oh my gosh, it's so macho, isn't it? Okay, this is checking out. So what I'm asking is about people like General Milley and General Kelly and others behind the scenes keeping an eye on things. We'll never know about it. I've said that before. The High Priestess is coming up. And the Knight of Cups is coming up. This has to do with the military. I think they're planning to combat this crap. The Temperance it's a timing issue. And I'm getting a strong sense that they're aware of the nefarious plans that this rogue administration, that's a criminal mob administration that is not legit, that cheated to get in with Elon's help and with the Kremlin's help, they actually know what they have planned. Okay. I'm going to ask this. Will a military parade happen just like, will a military parade be happening? I keep on getting a no. I feel really strongly that the shadow, I'm going to call it the shadow government, the positive shadow government, I feel really strongly that they have the playbook. They have the playbook. We have to continue to pray and intend and keep our heads on straight. Now let's read on these tariffs. I just saw a clip of 3 different small businesses that employ people that get all their supplies from China that will have to shut down, lay off their employees permanently, and try to find out how to make an income. And some of these businesses have been in business for decades, and now they're not getting what they need for supplies from China, and they're up you know what creek. So I'm going to pull 3 cards about that. And the question is, will that situation be remedied? I've never seen these tariffs lasting, so we'll see. King of Cups, 8 of Cups, yeah, there'll be some loss. But I feel like our allies are going to help us to get through this. We still have allies. I understand that our allies, you know, I see posts out there that are like, our allies know to never trust the United States again because look how stupid the United States is. All right, to that I'm going to say this, and I don't want anybody thinking that way. I truly, it's my most fervent wish that people aren't looking at, like us, we are not looking at ourselves like, what a bunch of stupid idiots we Americans are. I want everybody, you can tell, some of these things just set me off, right? Go back and watch the DNC convention. Go back and listen to Kamala Harris speaking on the ellipse in front of 100,000 people. Go pay attention to how many real, normal, astute, intelligent, creative, educated, genius, activated, inspiring people are in these United States of America. Don't forget. The fascists need you to forget that. Stop forgetting that. They need to wipe it out of your mind, just like, you know, on the negative side, they needed to wipe from your mind that January 6th ever happened. The rest of the world knows, our allies know, that the Kremlin has been meddling in the political scene in the United States of America in earnest for the past 10 years. maybe they don't all like know, and but the most important allies. Our allies know that the Kremlin meddled in the election. Our allies know that Kamala won. So in the face of these tariffs and everything, I feel like we're going to go through a very sad time seeing what we lost. But when that line from that Joni Mitchell song, don't always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone. That's going to get people motivated more than anything else would. And I have the World and the King of Cups. There will be a shift. There's a shift happening as I speak. And when we all get on board with a shift is happening, we're not doing 1930s Germany. We're not doing that. It's nearly 100 years later. We've evolved since then. As far as the tariffs, let's just ask before I let you go. Let's ask, how long these tariffs will be in effect, if they're in effect. I mean, I know the container ships haven't shipped, but how long will that last? 1 week? Tariffs. 2 weeks? Heavy duty tariffs. 3 weeks? 4 weeks? 5 weeks? I think it's pretty consistent. A lot of you have borne witness to this. I keep on consistently getting, in 4 to 5 weeks, something major happens that ousts them. I also know that people not believing it delays it. It delays it. So that's why I get everybody on track with meditating for Healed America every Thursday. And we pray and intend at Church of Spirituality. So I hope you can join us tomorrow and every Sunday if you can. Live stream at 1 p.m. Eastern. It's always a pleasure to be with you. I'm in it to win it. I'm not backing down like my song says. I'll repost my song too. We're not backing down. We're taking back democracy and we won't be backing down. And when we win our democracy back, when we fight, we win, we're winning our democracy back, we just have to work at it. We will never take our eye off the ball again. All right, and I leave you with that. This is longer than I thought it would be. But we'll see you soon. Namaste. To book a session, psychic@dion.com. All right, bye. Thumbs up.